Hi, my name is Liz. This is the Lemming Drops. Welcome to my journey. I wanted to do a video about something that I've been thinking about for a while now. One of the other folks that I watch here on YouTube is Bariatric Terry, and I think he's got some really great videos, and he's really kind of upbeat and happy, and that makes me feel good. So I really like watching his stuff. He had the vertical sleeve, not really the bypass like I did. So there are some differences between his experience and my experience. And of course, he was fortunate enough to not have some of the bad side effects that I had when I had the hernia thing too. So like most people who go through these surgeries, not a lot of pain, not a lot of problems afterwards. So good for him, and I hope everybody who watches this has an experience a little more like his than mine. I would wish hernias on no one. But anyway, the point that he made that I've been thinking a lot about was, he said, look, if you made bad food choices before you had surgery, the surgery isn't like this magic bullet that changes your brain, you know, that you're likely to still make bad food choices. It's just now you have a stomach, you know, the size of an egg, or in my case, or a little bigger in the case of a gastric sleeve bypass. So, I thought about that because my husband had actually said the exact opposite thing. He had actually said to me, you know, you're eating a lot better now. And so I was thinking, well, I wonder if it's the difference between the vertical sleeve versus the roux-en-y, or if it's just one of those your mileage may differ kind of things. I don't know, but I thought that maybe I would at least talk about what I'm experiencing and what it's like for me, because I am eating a lot differently, but I'm responding more, I think, towards, well, or maybe I guess you could say I'm responding as much towards the same drives and the same desires that I've always had. My body's just screaming for different things now, maybe. I don't know. For example, and I wrote down a few things because I was traveling this past week. And so when I travel, I have a lot of time to think about stuff and make notes. And the first thing is that, you know, I used to, when I went to a restaurant, I would look at the choices in terms of, yeah, I mean, stuff I liked, but also in terms of how filling it was going to be. Now, that's not really, that's not an issue now. Believe me, anything is filling. But in general, I looked for little meat. I did not eat a whole lot of meat. Vegetables and really carb-heavy stuff. You know, I liked my pastas. I liked my rice. That sort of thing. And that's what I really was leaning on to fill me up a lot of the time. Even when I would have a salad, it normally had some carb stuff in there because you got to fill up somehow, right? Well, what I've really noticed since I had the surgery is that I am looking for flavor, as much flavor as I can get. Not heat, not salt, but flavor. Because remember, you know, I can't really drink liquids while I'm eating. So if you have something that's really, really hot, you're kind of screwed, you know. Same thing with salt. I mean, you know, if you, and I used to down glasses of water when I ate. I drank so much. It's always getting a refill. Can't do that now. So because I can, I'm a little more careful about that. But the thing is, I'm just craving flavor. It's almost like, because I can only get this little tiny amount that I can eat, I want like the flavor of an entire normal size meal in it, I guess. So flavor is huge, and I really look at that. And I look a lot at the protein, what the options are for protein and the kinds of protein. If I ate meat before, it was often chicken, occasionally shrimp, scallops. But again, I was leaning really heavy towards getting proteins from beans and cheese and a lot of the sort of more alternative protein sources. Now, I can't tell you, I am constantly eating shrimp and scallops. Those I am eating those all the time. Both of them are very easy to chew. Both of them are very easy to digest, and I love them. Crab meat this past week has been all crab meat. I was in Virginia, and there was crab in everything, and it was great. Cheese and milk, still two huge sources of protein for me, and I love them. What I fear and I'm really careful about is chicken, because if the chicken breast, which should be easy to digest and blah, 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 but if that's dry, that's the only thing so far that has made me think that I was going to throw up. And that is kind of, that kind of put me off. The other issue is beef that is kind of sinewy and tough and hard to chew, because if I can't really chew it into small, small pieces, I don't want to swallow a larger chunk. It's going to just sit in my stomach. And so, I mean, I've actually ended up spitting out some meat that I couldn't chew. And then I was fortunate because I was at a Chinese restaurant, and then I got this, it was a combination of scallops and beef. And so I ended up just picking out the scallops and eating some of the vegetables, but I just couldn't eat the beef. It was just way, way too chewy and sinewy. I couldn't break it down. So again, I'm looking at some really different things, but this seems to be what my body wants. So it's not like I'm feeling that, boy, I'm forced to eat this crap and I don't want to eat it, but it's all I can eat anymore. It's not like that at all. It's what my body's screaming for anyway. Chocolate. Now, let's talk chocolate. Chocolate, my body used to scream for chocolate. That was what I wanted. That was major craving. And you know those little 100-calorie bags, the little snack bags? Gotta tell you, before surgery, one of those really would do nothing more than whet my appetite. I would be like, oh yes, now that is the beginning of the chocolate and I need more. Interestingly enough, one of those little 100-calorie snack bags takes care of the chocolate craving entirely. And amusingly enough, I was at the hotel I was at the other day. I got, they gave me, a little bag with a little bottle of water and this little chewy granola bar. And it was a chocolate chip granola bar. You know the kind that are tiny, but they have like maybe 6 mini chocolate chips in them. And normally I'd be like, why'd you even bother? But I ate it, and it was enough. That was enough chocolate. So this is really a crazy new world from the chocolate perspective for me. It's amazing how easily satisfied my chocolate cravings are. The other thing is, I know a woman that I used to know many years ago had this surgery, and she was, I remember she brought to work, a little baggie filled with, the little diabetic sugar-free chocolates. So I tried them, and you know what? I just really don't like them. And it occurs to me that if I can be satisfied by one real Hershey Kiss, then I'm not going to bother with the other crap, because I can handle one real Hershey Kiss without getting nauseous. I did try like a really big chocolate covered pretzel, and it was too much chocolate, it was too much sugar, and it did make me a little sick. But yeah, so if one Hershey Kiss is all it takes, why bother with the other crap? Let's see. Oh yeah, and the other weird thing, this is so crazy, the size of portions. Okay, there's a show called Man vs. Food on the Travel Channel, and I think he's really funny. The guy's name's Adam, and he's just really amusing to watch. And I have to say, I used to watch the show, and I'd be like, oh my God, let me have those man cakes. I want those big ones. They look great. Now, I watch that stuff, and the portion size actually makes me kind of a little ill just looking at it. And when I've been at restaurants recently this past week with all the travel, you know, they bring me out this really huge meal kind of, and I'm like, wow, that's a total waste. So it's kind of strange just that even just looking at the large portions now kind of makes me like, ooh. So that's kind of crazy, and it's not something that I did. I guess it's just a result of the surgery and what's going on with me now. So in short, to sum it up, although it's way too late to make this a short video, I guess maybe, I'm not sure how much of what I'm experiencing has to do with the roux-en-y and some of the physiological changes that have been made because of that. Some of it may just be me, Liz. I can just be, you know, wacky. Or, you know, I just could be nothing more than, you know, your mileage may vary. But I'd be really interested in finding out, I guess, how some other people are and what they're eating in terms of, and how it's changed. Because I think it's kind of interesting, and it's changed in ways I didn't expect it to. I would have, if I had watched Terry's 16-week video where he was talking about this before my surgery, I would have agreed with him completely. So I'm kind of almost stunned that the changes that I'm going through are not things that I'm struggling for or fighting for, but they're just sort of these natural changes based on something. I don't know what. So anyway, that's it. Hope that helps. I hope that's at least interesting. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.